Hey, barbarians! What's up? Thank you for passing by. My name is Phil, and I am from Mints and Drops. And today, I'm having the ultimate pleasure to receive on the show May from Hashpack. You know, the number one leading wallet over in our ecosystem. She knows it all. She brought up the secret sauce just a little bit. What's planned, for next year, her part of her history, what she's bringing to the table, in terms of utility, UX, UI. Enjoy. May from Hashpack. This is a great one. Thank you so much for being around. Thank you for passing by today on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be here.
Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm doing really well. I guess I'd like to say happy holidays to everyone who's listening in. It's been really busy, and even in the holidays here, we're really busy at Hashpack. So we're, not taking it easy, but it's been fun. Lots of fun.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. And being one of your users for sure, I've been enjoying the app a whole lot. There's so much to say once you're in front of me. I feel like you're the Oracle from the Matrix. I got so many questions. How do you make it so simple with all the possibilities over at Hashpack? We can talk about the history and whatnot, but in terms of UX and UI, with so much that you can do inside so little in terms of frame, how do you make it simple and accessible for everyone?
Yeah, well, I think that simplicity and accessibility is the reason why we're like the number one wallet on Hedera. And it's really been our focus from the very beginning. So like we have an amazing designer on our team. His name is Jacob.
Big shout out to Jacob.
Yeah, and he lives in the UK. And he just from the beginning, he was like, we have to have a great user experience. We have to make it so that anyone can use the wallet, not just like degens, but also, the grandmas of those degens. Actually, from day one, we actually had a few users who were completely new to crypto and were terrified of anything to do with private keys and stuff. So we really built our wallet around that kind of like user experience to make it so that those kind of people would be really confident in using our wallet. In terms of like simplicity, we really wanted to avoid some of the bloated UI that we see in a lot of wallets. I think that it's really tempting as like a product designer to keep adding buttons and tabs and add more features so that people can do things. And that comes at a cost of clarity and making it really easy for the user to understand what's going on. And I actually think that, there's still a lot that we can do to make the wallet better. So we're constantly improving that. But I think we really just focused on making it a great experience. I think it helps that we know what kind of audience that we're building for. Right now, it's the NFT community, it's the DeFi community, and we really want to make that experience as good as possible for those people. And I think we're doing well because we've been told that Hashpack's UX is better than any other wallet, even on other chains. And even there are some users that have come to me and said that the main reason why they moved to Hedera is because of Hashpack. Like they loaded it in, it was so 100%. Easy. And you buy your NFT and it shows up.
Yeah, it's just simple, and we can go around it, later on. But in terms of UX, it's straightforward. I mean, you don't even feel it. So that's what makes it so powerful, in my opinion. And did you venture into any other ecosystem? What's your story? What's your storyline? How did you end up doing Hashpack things?
It's a really funny story. I didn't get into crypto until February last year. So 2021, in the heat of the bull run, a friend of mine just out of the blue shilled me on Hoj coin, which is like Doge, but it's a bulldog. So I bought some at his behest. And then I promptly lost a lot of money on it because I
It's
don't know
quite
what
a
I didn't know what I was doing, but
yeah.
it was fun. I did have an opportunity to like profit, but I held. So that kind of like speculation thing, I am not good at all, and I recognized that really quickly. So I started looking into the chains, different tokens, and somehow I ended up on Hedera. And I joined a community on Hedera called Club HBAR, and it's just a bunch of people who are really big HBAR fans.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then we like I was just like looking into the documentation of Hedera and stuff, and I found the SDK and I started just tweaking around with it. Um, and I had this idea of building something on the network. So I asked in the community, I was like, does anyone want to build something with me? And four
Wow, that's how it
people,
started. That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah. It's just like out of
Fudge.
nowhere, four random people on the internet got together and we decided to build a wallet. And 6 months
Wow.
later, we launched it, and that became Hashpack Wallet.
Wow, that's crazy. Jacob wasn't there, or you come along
Jacob
early?
was, we started with, okay, so in that Discord, I think about 10 people raised their hands. And then after about 2 weeks, only four people remained. And those four people became the four co-founders of Hashpack. And all
That's
of us are
crazy.
still there.
That's
It's,
crazy.
yeah,
It always makes up the simplest stories when you start up something. It's always like the simplest thing, right? It's just raise your hand if you want to build something. That's crazy, and it becomes the number one wallet out on the H. That's absolutely nuts. That's crazy. How and through all of this, of course, because you have to be an enthusiast of the entire ecosystem, NFT based and whatever.
yeah.
And of course, you're a builder out here. How do you find balance through all of this? Because of course, you want to invest, you want to go ham, and of course, we've all made mistakes, like you said with the
Mm-hmm.
altcoin. But at the same time, it's so thrilling at the same time. So because it's juicy, there's so many stuff that you can make happen. How do you find balance between okay, I got to build this, I got to keep my head down and just
Yeah.
put all the noise out, and then okay, well, I'm going to enjoy myself a tad, so.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. I used to be a lot more engaged day to day with the community. I used to like go hype on HBAR whenever it rose up and like post Wojacks when the price went down, and really get involved in that for fun.
Yeah.
But as the year has gone by, it's been harder and harder because the space is growing so fast. It used to be a lot smaller. I used to know like almost everyone in the ecosystem that was building on something, and I had like some contacts with the HBAR Foundation and with Hedera, and it was easy to just like keep up to date with everything that was going on. And now everything's grown so much, and we have so many new projects every single day, and we have people coming in from all the different chains. So it's really crazy. But I guess like one of the things that really helped was going full time on Hashpack, which I was able to do back at the beginning of the year. And so now I didn't have to juggle two jobs.
That's really great. Yeah.
But also like I've learned to like put aside a bit of time every day to do some physical exercise, like going to the gym. And I do a little bit of non-crypto related things too, which helps my sanity. But I think like it's just fun to be in the crypto space and to keep up to date with what everyone's building. I don't really get so involved with like the new NFT projects these days or the crypto tokens, but I have friends who do, and they tell me all that's going on. So,
they give you the alpha.
Yeah. So it's fun to keep up to date. And like, I guess as the CEO of a wallet, it's not really good for me to favor any projects. So I just sort of sit back and kind of promote everybody equally is my goal.
To be objective.
Yeah. And just give everyone an equal chance to show off what they're doing and get excited about what they're doing. So yeah, I actually really love that about the Hedera community. We're really open and welcoming, and we really like collaborate well together as a group. And I would love to keep seeing that happen as the network grows, which I know is tough because as a network,
it will. I'm sure it will, for sure. Because at one point, because we like right now, we all connect because we share at least a vast majority of values and opinions and points, right? And it's not forced to have a full array of it, of being, in accord with it. But still, what we have, what we share, we share it through the entire network, and that's what's so amazing, and that's what's so welcoming about it too.
Yeah, it's what a lot of people love when they come to Hedera too, like just how open the community is and how there actually is like a really fun community here, and so like I really love that about this space.
Even though it can be like sometimes of a rabbit hole, or really, because when we start this up, I don't know, well, 1.5 years ago or so, I started back in that's March 2021.
Yeah.
And I started this off like maybe, let's say, okay, 5 hours a week or so. I was like, okay, what's this, what's that? Of course, discovered HBAR not so long afterwards, but the more you dive into it, the more you see stuff that you can read and learn about, and vice versa. You meet up incredible people that and they know other stuff, and then this 5 hours a week becomes 5 hours a day, right? And then it becomes 10 hours a day, and you're like, wow, I gotta set limits for sure. That's why I was asking you about balance, because it can get absolutely crazy, and since it's worldwide, there's no stop.
Never sleeps.
I'm not to brag, but I'm a UX UI student right now. I'm taking a class.
Nice.
It's career switch for me right now. And I can see great UX UI, of course, even before knowing, or starting at least to know the very basics. Okay. And being a fan myself, I can say, of course, that I cannot see the design, which is why I believe it's really great design. What do you feel in terms of whole package? What's the biggest accomplishment that, hey, this is not a mic drop, but you're doing this and you're like, okay, we got this on lock, and I can half close my eyes and I know I got this. In terms of biggest accomplishment, like, I got this.
Yeah. I think we can't downplay the fact that we are the leading wallet on Hedera right now. I think our biggest accomplishment so far is paving the way for NFT marketplaces and the DeFi economy. We really enabled DeFi on Hedera, like from grassroots. We built everything up. The stuff that we built enabled marketplaces to form, enabled DEXs to come online. And I think that the community too recognizes that without Hashpack, we wouldn't have this community and ecosystem that we have today. So I definitely I think our team has a point of pride where we're leaders in the space, and we're really building something that's important that people need, because everything that we've done so far has really catalyzed growth and interest in the space and all of that. And of course, the wallet is the interface to the network. It's not itself like an application. You don't necessarily do things on a wallet, you do things with the wallet. So even though I'm saying that we did a great job of building the space, also I want to just point out that there are also great teams on Hedera, like SaucerSwap, like Stater, like Zeus, like all of the creators that are building new things and stuff, right? All of us on Hedera are really trying to build something great. And Hashpack is kind of like the glue that binds everything together. So that's really how we see each other. And I guess, I think as a community, we should really be proud of what we've accomplished so far. It's amazing, especially given that we missed the bull run of 2021, and yet we're still growing, and it's really good. And I have a really good feeling about going forward, about the interest that we can drive into Hedera, about the things that we can do in the space, that we can evolve Web3, not just build on what's been done, or build what's been done before, but build on top of it, and really
iteration.
Exactly. Right now, Hashpack is leading Hedera, but I hope that Hedera can lead Web3. And that's not to say there's also one thing I want to just comment that I've been thinking about lately, which is at the beginning, early 2021 or before that, people were being very Hedera maxi and saying Hedera is the altcoin or things like that. And I think that happens in other ecosystems as well. But I think that that's actually a bit divisive to say that kind of thing. Rather, we should think about, as a community, not just Hedera, but Web3 as a whole, how can we build something that's going to be great? And I think that, the Hedera community is very open to that idea, where that we can work together, we can work with all these other chains and build something great. And I think that that's necessary. If we look into all of the other ones, like Polygon and Ethereum and Solana, even with Phantom moving on to different wallets, Algorand, XRP, like all of these spaces are we're starting to see the dApps and stuff, and the wallets go like build cross-chain compatibility and ability to swap assets across as seamlessly as possible. And I think that that's the future. So like as an ecosystem, we're growing, but we can also lead the way and really make it as easy as possible for anyone to use Web3. So, and I think Hedera is like the perfect platform to do it on.
Yeah, again, because we share common values of, welcoming people in. And I even though at one point, of course, you have to choose a house to build upon, but at one point, of course, there's always this expression where, the pie is not big enough, right? Because you have to go somewhere else, because mistakes have been made, in our camp and other camps.
Yeah.
And we can 100,000% benefit from anything. And just for sharing this, because again, it's so cliche to say, but we're so early. And that's so true, because at one point, we just want Web3 to be all there. So I vouch for that 1,000% for sure. And wanted to get back on, there's so much to say. When did Secure Trade come into play? Was it February?
It was in early January, I think. It was one of our first features. Yeah. That
came in as a bomb, because I just had a flashback, when it came in. And of course, there's many layers to this, but that truly brought up a level of trust that was so much needed, because at one point it was like, okay, I want to, it's like, when you're waiting in the goal for the baseball and you're waiting for it and you're like, am I stealing, the first base or whatever? And then, you did not know, because the person in front of you, you needed that level of trust. You needed that distance to say, okay, this is the securest, safest place for us to do something. And that propelled it. That truly propelled it. And that made explode everything, even before secondary marketplace. So
Well, Secure Trade was, because at that time, that was before any marketplaces were live on Hedera. I think there was like one or two max, and they were kind of doing things in a weird way where you had to enter your key into the marketplace, because back then there was no like signing with wallets. We actually had to build that out. And so we built Secure Trade, which is peer-to-peer trading, where you create the request as a sender of the NFT, and you say how much you want to buy the NFT for the buyer, and then you send them that transaction, and then they sign it, right? And so then the trade happens atomically, which means there's no chance for the sender to not send the NFT or the buyer to not pay for it, right? And we saw so much activity like just come up from that. People were so excited. People were trading like nonstop. It was really good. And even today, Secure Trade is actually pretty like a lot of activity on there. And we are also planning to build out a version 2 of Secure Trade, which I've been now saying more like prominently now in spaces, because we're getting close to delivering that. But Secure Trade version 2 will let you trade not just HBAR for NFTs, but also NFT for NFT, or NFT for tokens, or token for token, or anything, like any combination you could do, like HBAR and a token for that. It's something that we're really excited for, because it'll really unlock like peer-to-peer trading overall. And it's also kind of complicated, because there's like custom fees for all of these NFTs and tokens and stuff, and royalties and stuff that all have to be taken into account. So it's like kind of tricky, but we are definitely aiming to bring that out soon. And then I think that we'll see like another wave of people trading things and, having fun with NFTs, which I think is really important in this space, like being able to just have fun,
It is. It's about, it's fun to make games, but it's fun to talk to people too, and just have fun, right? That's the whole thing, the whole concept, to get closer to one another. So Secure Trade 2.0, 3.0. That's not to put you on the spot. So that's for next year.
About that. Yeah.
Cool. What's sort of juicy? What's the sauce for no pun? What's the sauce for Hashpack coming in like Q1, Q2, or Q3? If you will?
iOS app is coming up. We're actually in beta right now, So beta means that it's basically done, except that Apple Store hasn't approved us yet. We're having trouble with their NFT policies, but you can actually download the beta app right now and use Hashpack on your iOS app, or on your Apple phone or iOS device. So that's coming. We also have a security audit coming up, which isn't really juicy, but that is one thing that the community was asking for, and we're going to be delivering on that. So those are kind of like things that are already announced. We have a really big push on the community side, where we reached out to a bunch of builders and creators on Hedera, and we put all of their projects onto our community site on our website. And that's kind of like getting people aware of what's being built on Hedera and showcasing those cool projects so that new users can come and dive into the ecosystem. So we've got a lot of things planned for building that community and keeping things going and keeping that energy up. And I think it will really grow. And then aside from that, we've got some cool things coming up on for NFTs. We really I think one of the biggest things on Hedera right now is the NFT community and how vibrant and innovative it is. So we're really planning to add more features on that part with the gallery, and I can't share too much because, we just well, things like being able to sort your gallery are things that we've talked about in the team. Things like, secure trade V2 is a big one where you can actually
That's huge.
Trade things. Things like sharing your NFTs with people,
to brag, you mean? To
brag, that kind of thing. We have that coming up. We're also really keen on the gaming space. So building out features that will help games to come into Hedera or come into Web3 and start issuing their collectibles and things like that, and then viewing them in Hashpack. We're actually working with a few games right now to try to figure out how exactly that flow works. And
it's
then,
such a natural lane for me, in my opinion, gaming and NFT. I mean, it's being, I was a gamer, and I'm cutting you short, but I was a gamer back then. And right off when I started crypto and NFT, I put it on the side. But to me, it's such a lane that goes together, and people already know what it is. So if you want to integrate this whole thing that's Web3 that nobody knows what it is outside of us and this, you bring in something that people know, and it's a world of possibilities. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Gaming is very interesting because so far gaming in Web3 means gambling games and coin flips and pay to earn and those kind of things, or play to earn. But then you can also just extend it to things that already exist in games, like skins and collectibles and things like that don't that aren't speculative in nature, but are more community focused or experience focused. So you can gather an achievement from a game, but then store it in your wallet if you're really proud of it, or some rare loot or something like that you can just hold NFT forever. Lots of really cool possibilities with games, and there's a few things that games need in order to properly move into Web3, and some of that revolves around a wallet and accounts, and how does that get managed. So we're actually building out a lot of those kind of things to make it as easy as possible for games to do that. And then finally, another thing that I'm really interested in that my team is also looking towards is things like the NFTs that Starbucks and Nike and Reddit have been offering. And so we're looking at Web2 brands that are moving into Web3 and trying to figure out exactly how that works. And they're issuing digital collectibles, or Starbucks, in Starbucks case, it's a loyalty card that has collectible stamps. And the idea is that you're building that community, you're building those experiences. And I think that NFTs have a huge opportunity there, not just for Web2 brands, but also for these our NFT creators here in this space, building out those kind of experiences and communities, I think is going to be huge. And the easier that we make it for brands as a community, as an ecosystem, the more we'll see that kind of adoption. Yeah. So I'm really excited about that. And we're going to be trying to build things towards that. And like a lot of that is things that will benefit NFT collectors, right? Because that's really the basis of these collectible, digital collectible things. So yeah, I guess that's kind of like a little bit sneak peek of where we're going as a company, what we're looking forward to.
2023 cannot come soon enough. Thank you so much to have taken just the time to be with us tonight on the show. That was truly a pleasure. I enjoyed my time. It was really great. Thank you so much. And where can we reach you at if you want to ask me a question?
Yeah, I am fairly active on Twitter, and my Twitter handle is @May_Hashpack. There's also our official Twitter, which is @Hashpack app. And we also have an official Discord, which the link is on our website, which is hashpack.app. And you can go into the Discord, and like if you have any support questions or any bugs or snags that you find in the UX or feedback for us as a team, you can come in and chat to us. And we're really, really open to that.
I can vouch for that for sure.
Yeah,
it's true.
So that's ways you can contact us. And I would just always add a disclaimer that Hashpack team will never DM you first. We'll never ask for keys or anything like that. So make sure that you're looking at the official accounts, because there are unfortunately a lot of scammers in the space that are trying to take advantage. So yeah, we'll never DM you first, and go to our Discord to look for our social media stuff, and we'll be more than happy to chat.
May, thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
I'll
see you down in the Discord. But again, thank you so much. You're welcome back on the show at any point, and have a great evening.
Absolutely. You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
May from Hashpack, thank you so much for your presence today on the show. I truly and genuinely enjoyed my time. Thank you all for passing by on the show. And I gotta say that Mints and Drops have made it onto the resource page over the main website over at Hashpack. Truly a blessing. Thank you to every single one of y'all over at the team. Thank you to all of you who are watching every single episode, or one episode, the other, and just your presence, your support is truly felt. I want to take a moment and truly, this is a blessing. Thank you all so much. But this is what happens, when you have a good house, a great house, and you can build upon. You can just build bridges and, build upon, have a blast, make some friends, expand, grow the pie, and be there on the next show of Mints and Drops.